There's more than one way to fly this mission. You really don't get it. On this mission, a man flies like Maverick here, or a man does not come back. We finally got an update on Top Gun 3 with Jay Ellis sharing that the team is focused on getting it right. Meanwhile, Miles Teller claims he hasn't heard any updates, but joked that he told Tom Cruise to give him a 6-month heads up so he can get in shape. With that in mind, let's break down everything we know about the third movie so far. After a year of development, Top Gun 3 is still not quite ready for takeoff. Jay Ellis, who played Lieutenant Ruben Appleback Fitch in Top Gun Maverick, recently gave an update on the project. Back in January 2024, Deadline reported that the sequel was in the works at Paramount, but it seems like things are still in the early stages. Ellis jokingly told US Weekly, "So here's what the story is going to be. It's going to be payback? No. Before getting serious and confirming, in all honesty, they're still working on the script, they're still working on the story. They're wanting to get it right." And that's a big deal, because according to Ellis, Tom Cruise, who's not just the star but also a producer, is a perfectionist. He's a stickler for making sure the audience gets what they paid for and that they're entertained. Ellis said, "For those 2 hours, they can fully disappear in the theater, and the world around them doesn't exist anymore." With Maverick, co-writer Aaron Kruger back in the mix, the creative team is making sure this sequel isn't just a cash grab, but something that truly continues the story in a meaningful way. And honestly, that's reassuring. The Navy needs Maverick. The kid needs Maverick. That's why I fought for you. Reports in early 2024 confirmed that Top Gun 3 was in development following Cruise's non-exclusive deal with Warner Bros. The plan is to reunite Cruise with co-stars Miles Teller and Glenn Powell, alongside producers Jerry Bruckheimer and David Ellison. As for director Joe Kosinski, he's expected to return, though whether he's directing or producing is still up in the air. If you need a reminder of how big Top Gun Maverick was, it's still the highest-grossing film of Cruise's career, pulling in $1.49 billion at the box office. It also won an Oscar for Best Sound and was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. So yeah, the pressure is on to make Top Gun 3 just as good. Before Ellis's update, we also got some news from Miles Teller back in February 2025 while promoting his upcoming movie, The Gorge, on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. When asked if Top Gun 3 was happening, his response was, "Look, you might be shocked, but I do not greenlight that thing. I have nothing to do with it." That's not exactly a no, but it's clear he's just waiting for the call like the rest of us. However, he did mention that he's already warned Cruise to give him enough time to prepare for the role. He said, "I just told Tom, give me enough time and a heads up for me to get in shape. It's 1 month per AB. I need 6 months heads up." Colbert kept pressing for a real answer, asking if a third film was actually happening. Teller played coy, saying, "I don't know." There's a lot of enthusiasm on the fan side, and there's a lot of enthusiasm on the creative side. So while nothing is officially confirmed, there's clearly interest in making it happen. With Top Gun 3 still in development, it's no surprise that details remain scarce. Back in January 2024, Aaron Kruger was announced as the writer and Joe Kosinski was expected to return as director. The goal was to bring back Cruise, Teller, and Powell, but beyond that, the script is still being worked on. Meanwhile, one actor from Top Gun, Maverick, has already ruled himself out. Ed Harris, who played Rear Admiral Chester Hammercane, was asked in an interview if he'd return for the sequel. His answer, a firm yeah, no. Harris's character was a minor antagonist in Maverick, mostly appearing in the opening scene as the guy who wanted to shut down Maverick's hypersonic jet program. He was eventually overridden by Admiral Tom Eastman Kazansky and didn't play a major role beyond that. Given how the story unfolded, it makes sense why he wouldn't be needed for the third film. That said, there's always a chance the script could include him. While Harris himself doesn't see a reason for his return, there's a possibility the movie might explore more Navy politics or bring back familiar faces. But at this stage, it looks like Hammer won't be back. As for what Top Gun 3 will actually be about, that's still a mystery. Jay Ellis emphasized that Cruise is taking his time to make sure they get it right. considering that Cruise is also busy with Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, and other Warner Bros. projects. This might take a while. Still, that hasn't slowed down the excitement. Both Teller and Powell have consistently expressed interest in returning, and it's clear that the creative team wants to make sure the story is worthy of following up Maverick. If we've learned anything from Top Gun, Maverick, it's that taking your time can pay off. The gap between Top Gun and Maverick was over 3 decades, and while no one expects Top Gun 3 to take that long, it's understandable why Cruise and the team are being meticulous. As for E.D. Harris not returning, it's honestly for the best if the story doesn't need him. Top Gun 3 needs to stand on its own and not just bring back characters for the sake of nostalgia. If his character doesn't fit into the new narrative, then forcing him back in wouldn't make sense. At the end of the day, Top Gun 3 is still in the works. And while we don't have a release date or even a confirmed plot, it's clear that everyone involved wants to make it something special. So for now, we'll just have to be patient and hope that when Top Gun 3 does eventually take flight, it'll be worth the wait. When it comes to the story for Top Gun 3, it isn't officially set up, but that doesn't mean a sequel wouldn't work. A new mission will inevitably bring Maverick and the other pilots back into action. And while the details of that mission will be important, the real focus will be on how it challenges them as characters. Maverick introduced an interesting setup that Top Gun 3 could build on. Admiral Kane had a plan to replace human pilots with drones, and this could spark a major conflict in the next movie. A story where Maverick and his team go up against AI-controlled aircraft to prove that human instinct and skill still matter would make for an intense and meaningful showdown. What would make this even better? A Top Gun reunion. Since most of the original crew didn't return for Maverick, this could be the perfect opportunity to bring them back. Imagine the original fighter pilot team reuniting to prove that experience and teamwork can outmatch machines. It would be a great tribute to the first film while also pushing the story forward in an exciting way. At this point, the whole drones replacing pilots idea seems like a strong contender for Top Gun 3's main conflict. The real question is how it will unfold and what role Maverick and the others will play in it. Either way, it's a direction that could bring plenty of action, nostalgia, and high-stakes drama to the franchise. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments.